What's going on, everybody? I'm BobbyFi. I'm here just doing my video of the day. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Had a really close call last night that I sort of wanted to briefly talk about. First night, I actually tried Stake Kings just to see what it was like. Played a couple 888s, got quickly, literally sold out my package instantly on the 888s. Let's go to the history here. So far, haven't gotten my entries in for today yet for everything, but just going to show you guys real quick, and then we'll get into today's stuff. Like it was a really good shot. I basically was in 30th place without 5 of my players starting, including my Dodgers stack, which scored 2 runs. Just goes to show you, when you do 4-man stacks, I mean, literally one more bomb from one of them, I would have come in second place probably, if it were even depending on the situation, of course. But yeah, ended up finishing 10th. Had more innings remaining than the field for so long, and looked good. Just didn't get what I needed from the Dodgers. Obviously, faded most of the Angels, just played Upton in this one and still almost won it. Anyway, it was a great night. Unfortunately, my other one had the Angels, had that Trout, Ohtani, and had Biggio in there. I would have liked to mix some of that pitching, some of that hitting in over here. But still, a good night overall. A good night for Stake Kings. A good night for me to try things out. And I've got some more action going tonight. So sold out a couple things real quick, but I think there's a few more up. Anyway, we're going to get to tonight, just sort of my initial thoughts on Draftkings and then on FanDuel real quick. I want to just mention, like, there's a lot, on a 15-game slate. I'm not going to worry too much about ownership unless it gets really condensed on people. These ownerships are going to definitely be subject to change. I'm going to be high on Boston. I'm going to be high on St. Louis, especially Goldschmidt and Carpenter. I'm going to be high. I'm going to have exposure to Cleveland, but probably not like fully stacking as much as maybe I thought I was going to start the day. I want mini stacks in Oakland, Oakland. I think that Mitch Keller is an interesting pitcher. I think that I'm going to have more exposure than this. This is just my initial build and where it got me. I always go through and edit once I added my bigger buy-in tournaments, etc. Some of the guys, though, that stood out. I really love Goldschmidt above everybody else at first base, but it's a loaded position, I feel like. And I love Vogelbach. I think he's the other guy. So I think between those two, they'll make up half of my ownership at first base, maybe more. If Jung Oh Gung's in the lineup, I think he's one of the value savers on the slate. Just sort of throwing out some different things that stood out to me, because I'm not going to get into all my ownership percentages every video. I just want to highlight some players and some plays that I really am focusing on today. Obviously, the Mike Trout thing makes some sense. I don't want to stack fully against Stroman. He's a good enough pitcher, keeps the ball on the ground enough. But the Angels have some fly ball guys like Ohtani and La Stella, who match his pitch types, and La Stella and especially Bohr match the pitch types pretty well. So Bohr's a better play than he was yesterday, probably tonight. It's the exact kind of pitcher. You got extreme ground ball versus fly ball, and he just crushes the low pitches in general. Again, not going to get overly crazy with the Angels, though, like we did yesterday. I do think that Washington, that game, we have to see if it plays, because that's going to be a spot where I have interest in both offenses. But what I'm really coming down to is what you'll see, what I'm doing over on FanDuel. I think I'm going to end up going high on the Rockies. I think that's the stack that I want to end up getting exposure to. Particularly Murphy, Arenado grade out really well for me, and David Dahl when it comes to pitch types here. It's a good spot, and I don't believe in Merrill Kelly. I'm waiting. Maybe I'm chasing, but I think that this is a spot where we're going to get him one of these times with a weak bullpen behind him, good hitting weather if the roof's open, which we think it will be. The Rockies are guys who I'm really interested in. Tapia, we don't even know if he'll play, but obviously that price tag is the reason I have him in this 4-man stack. Needed a little bit of value some places because I wanted to stack them with Verlander. And then I use Hamels as my other SP1 so far. Again, this is subject to change, and it's guaranteed to change. We don't even know who the lineups are going to be. We don't know if Philly and Washington's going to play. So Roman Quinn, while he might seem like a good value at minimum cost, is a guy who may not even end up making lineups. So, that sort of sees what I'm doing. Then I'm very high. Oh, I forgot Paul DeJong also. As a one-off, as a part of the stack, he's cheaper on DK. I don't think he'll have ownership on either side too much, and I love him over here on FanDuel or DK. Here he's a part of my 4-man stack. Fowler grades out well here with my Boston mini stack of JD. And Brock Holt actually surprised me with the ISO versus pitch type. I think he was the second highest on the team for Boston tonight against Sampson. I don't think Sampson is necessarily terrible, but Boston has a terrific I'm sorry, not Sampson, Pineda. But Boston has an offense that can completely destroy a guy who, just leaves the ball over the plate, and especially the righties like Betts and Martinez are going to be, two of the top plays of the slate. I'm interested to see where they're owned because of their prices. They're cheap on DraftKings comparatively. These prices on FanDuel are a little bit higher, like percentage-wise, if you want to pay for pitching. So that's just sort of, what I'm throwing out there. I'm going to edit these. These are going to change. But this is where I'm at for early in the day. Anything, hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up. Watch my stream later on Twitch. We'll do at least 20 minutes right before crunch time. And we're going to talk about just the different plays, where I'm going with different lineups, what I've sort of whittled this down to. And, yeah, if you want to jump over on State Kings and get any piece of the action, made them good money last night. Expecting to do the same tonight. Feel really good about this. Need to fine-tune my ownerships on DK, obviously, because we just did the script. But right now, I'm building everything out still. This gives you an idea, though, of sort of where I'm headed today. If there's other stacks you like better, just start a conversation with me. Send it over to me on Twitter, at BobbyFi. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in as always. I look forward to doing more of these and getting your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe because I'm not always going to tweet these videos out. Thank you.